Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show. Today we have my friend, Brian Leonard. Brian and I keep crossing paths in our careers, and now we're on the same team. Brian's the VP of Marketing at AppSmart. Prior to joining AppSmart, Brian was the VP of Marketing at RapidScale, and before that, he spent over 4 years as the Director of Marketing at Intelisys. Brian simply makes it happen. Thanks for setting some time aside today, Brian, and being on the show.
It's great to be on, Steve. I have followed your show for many, many years. I love it, and I'm honored now that I'm a part of this show and I'm a guest on it. So thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. You know, there's so much we can talk about because I'm a big fan of your work. But let's focus today's interview on the upcoming AppSmart virtual event called Unleash on April 20th and 21st. Please talk about the event, the content, who should attend.
That's such a lot to remember, Steve. That is 2 questions. We may have to come back to question number 2 here. So let's try to keep it simple. I'm in marketing, okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's start with the types of content. This is a super exciting event. The content has been handcrafted for the technology advisor. And there are really 3 kinds of content that we're curating for this audience. The first kind is that we're putting together a number of panels of experts of the top technology advisors in the country. The technology advisors who are selling like crazy right now, who sold like crazy last year with the pandemic going on, right? One of the worst times in the world for a salesperson. These men and women excelled. So we're gonna have them on and we're gonna talk about what they did, what were the questions they asked, what were the technologies they sold? It's more than just UCaaS, right? It's just more than UCaaS and SD-WAN. How did they sell within their base, et cetera? You're gonna hear it straight from the horse's mouth, what the best of the best are doing, as well as just how they're scaling their businesses, right? The second kind of content that we're doing is we're having business experts on from a number of fields, specialists from like sales. We're having specialists from the negotiations field. We're having specialists in business growth and security, and especially what's going on with platforms and all of the ecosystems out there right now. We're having on Jay McBain, who's going to talk about just what's coming down the line right now with everything there. And he is dead accurate on most all of his predictions. He's dead accurate. So the third kind of content that we're going to have is we're having visionaries from AppSmart who are going to be coming on and talking about what they're seeing in the world right now at a very high level, how that translates into the technology advisor as well as the channel. So our co-CEO, Mr. Daniel Sachs, is going to be talking about just what's next out there, right? He's seeing things out there in the industry that nobody else is seeing. He has access that many people don't have access in terms of what's happening with the disruption in the industry, what's happening with convergence, and all of the opportunities that are available with our technology advisors, seeing all of these things happen out there. So it's more than just telco, right? It's more than just SaaS. It's all the business technology services out there that are converging. And then our SVP and general manager here at AppSmart, Renee Bergeron, is talking about how the best of the best out there are reinventing themselves in this new world that we're in. What are they doing? How are they transforming? What are the best practices that they're using from the data that she's collecting within AppSmart, as well as just in the industry? How does that transform? How does AppSmart help all of these technology advisors transform in the post-pandemic world? So that is the content, Steve.
Well, you answered a lot of questions there. You talked about the event and you know all the meat that's going to be offered on there, and you also answered the why. You know, why should a sales partner attend it? But my last question on the event is, what if I'm watching this as a sales partner? I'm going, okay, what am I going to walk away with? That's a lot of content, but what superpowers will I have after I attend this event?
Well, first, Steve, you're going to be speaking at the event. You're going to be on a panel. I mean, that's worth the price of admission just by itself. I mean, we could charge thousands of dollars in attendance just to watch you, Steve, but we're providing it for free, and I'm very thrilled about that. So that's number one. Number two is that we've seen last year, right? There was a whole year of virtual events, and we've seen what didn't work well, what put people to sleep, and what excited people, right? What worked. So we've taken the best of the best and we've included it in this event. So the sessions they're very, very, they're short, right? There's no session that's longer than a half an hour. So it's very condensed. There's no fluff. We have to condense quality content in a small amount of time, right? So we get right to the point. There will be literally hundreds of golden nuggets that are going to be thrown out there in these 2 days, right? And when I go to an event, I'm not sure what it's like with you, but when I go to an event, I've got one goal, like just one nugget. If I can get one golden nugget from like a 3-day event, then that event was a success. And there are going to be dozens, if not hundreds of golden nuggets at this event. And you really only have to get one. So imagine, if you got 12 golden nuggets from a couple of days, how that would transform your business, would help it grow, help it scale, and help you achieve your goals. So, this is really all about how to help the technology advisor, the small business, that entrepreneur, how to scale his or how to scale her business. And it's going to be, aside from you, Steve, I mean, you're amazing in and of yourself, but there's going to be, dozens of others like you, right, who are experts in the industry that are going to help transform businesses.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I think this will be the last and greatest virtual event. And then we're all pulling for channel partners in Vegas for real in November, right? So I want to encourage everybody to attend our Unleash event. And Brian, I know that you're a big fan of the Top Gun Show and that there are millions and millions of people watching you right now. I always end the episode with something, a little known personal fact. Why don't you tell the viewers a little known fact about yourself?
Little known fact. I mean, I'm pretty much an open book, Steve. You know that. I guess as we go back to our stomping days up in Northern California, we have many memories back there, you and I. We have since moved on. But many people don't know that when I was up there, I took, for a couple of years, I took an improv class at one of the top improv schools in the country. And I spent a couple years there just learning how to do the improv thing. It was it was super challenging just from an emotional standpoint. But I learned a lot from there. I just learned how to face my own fears. And my kids tell me I'm still really not that funny, Steve, and that I wasted my money and time, but it was still a great experience all the same. So.
Wow, that's incredible. No, there's two things that there's not enough alcohol in the world to get me to do, and that's stand-up comedy and then karaoke. Neither one, man. I won't do them.
It takes a special type. I'm not sure if I'd want to hear you do karaoke, to be quite honest.
Right on. Well, Brian, I want to thank you for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate you having me on, Steve. Love these shows. Let's keep rocking it. And we'll see you at AppSmart Unleash.
Sounds good. Thanks for watching, everybody.